Playing Dead by Daylight on the Easter. Just being like, what's up? Huh? Look at me. Ghost mask. Nice. Okay. Do I have my destroy a generator or drop 12 pallets? Oh, I guess I should add something. Reveals the aura, hooks to you for there's 20 seconds. Yeah, let's do that. Alright. So I'm just here. Chilling. Being like stab, stab, stab. Waiting for a match. Man, it takes forever to get a match. Okay, so Danny Johnson, known as Jed Alswin by some, grabbed the newspaper from the kitchen counter. It was a week old, but his face was on the front page, grainy and sunken. It was one of those muggy afternoons in Florida when heat and humidity permitted everything in the kitchen, making him sweat while standing still. He slouched in a damp chair to read. This article had better be good. His work in Roswell has been outstanding. Ghostface disappears. June 18, 1993. At first, freelancer with experience in a variety of small newspapers. The staff at the Roswell Gazette appreciated how easygoing and honest he seemed, and so he was treated as a stranger for no more than 5 minutes to his interview. Jed quickly spotted the editor-in-chief in the room and gave him a wide smile, a firm handshake, and talked about good old American values. And that was it. He was in. Oldsman never justified his... Well, I guess we'll read the rest later. But I guess, guess Ghostface works for the newspaper. I guess that's how it is. Do 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 do. Waiting in the shadows, being a ghost face. Relaxing here. The match starts in 5 seconds. Do do do. 4 seconds. Do 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 do. 2 seconds. I wonder if half of these people are here. Like if it auto starts for everybody, or like, or what? It seemed like it. It seemed like everybody was there. I wonder if that just like means that they stand still as at the beginning. They do. This is going to be a lot easier. The killer sees the aura, the outline of all repaired generators. Patrolling generators is a great way to find survivors. It is. Killers can break pallets. This action takes some time. There's the pallets completely unusable. All killers have super strength. That's what they're saying. So we were all disconnected. Like, what happened? Did that use my items? Probably so. Okay, let's see. Searching for a match. Searching for a match. So, back to this. Whoa, this is really long. Okay. So, Olson never justified his career path, which zigzagged between several small towns from Utah to Pennsylvania. There was no verification of his previous jobs. He had a decent portfolio plus a good attitude, and they needed a contributor right away. The Roseville murderers. Olson had been working at the newspaper for 5 months when the Roseville murders began. Victims from young to old stabbed to death in their homes. Yet the killer knew his way around in the houses. The mobile indicated a personal motive. No traces of DNA were found. The local police were confounded. The murders were carried with a fury akin to a crime of possession, yet cold. The murderer also liked to stalk his targets. 2 victims had reported being followed on their way home by a dark figure a few days prior to their deaths. The killers would follow them from Walleyes to a small bar in the northern Roseville and a snap of pictures of them at home while looking for a way in. He could watch the same victims for weeks. When he felt the urge He visited the most vulnerable victim on his list and braked inside the house quietly. The whole staff worked on the Roseville murders. Olsen was often sent to interview the family of victims and relay official statements from the police. Unknown to everyone at the time, his involvement added to the final body count. The ghost face. Panic swelled in Roseville when Oswin produced a footage of a hooded figure breaking into a house at night. The masked face, a white blur in the dark, stared at the camera for a second before disappearing. Ghostface caught on tape was the resulting article written by Oswin when he seemed proud of his work at the time, enjoying how the whole town feared his ghost stories. Weeks later, he left a note on his front desk and disappeared. I hope you liked my stories. I enjoyed bringing them to life. Don't worry, I'm not done. Roseville law enforcement still refuses to comment as Jed Oswin remains at large. Danny smiled, ripping out the articles from the newspaper. When the investigation had been pointing to him, he packed his bags and left. He got up the clammy seat, pulling his skin. An oppressive humidity engulfed him as he entered their bedroom, dribbling on a small mist window as bits of cracked wallpaper hung limply. Its floral pattern was covered with gruesome photos and newspaper headlines. Danny pinned the week-old article on top of him of the lactating scalps. A faint pang of hunger hit him. He wondered when he had eaten last. Was it this morning, while washing his knife and clothes? Or was it the night after following that girl down the street? He couldn't remember clearly. Taking a step back, he admired his work on the wall. His mind drifted, remembering all the articles he'd written, the stories he planned, and the scenes he brought to life. A shiver ran through him. A chilling breeze transformed into the bedroom's humidity into a freezing fog. A woman shrieked. Dead leaves crunched under his feet. He smiled in anticipation. And thus, that is the story of good old Ghostface. Oh, and we just got into another match. Please let me play a game. Alright, I'm in the Hawkins National Laboratory. Okay. Do do do. Do, 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 do. Thing. And thus, I only got one. That was a one and done. I was awful. Alright. Maybe better luck next time. To Jiwoo, Hawk thrived under the attention of others, energized by every eye that watched him, every tongue that spoke his name. Amidst the prestige, he had only one desire, more. Even as a child, he found ways to draw crowds, working at his family's restaurant. He attracted business with spectrals he performed. Using throwing knives, gullible tourists believed that it was a traditional South Korean experience, gladly parting with their money to witness it. Ji-woo's father spent the restaurant's earnings on dancing and vocal lessons for his son, pushing him to attain the fame he never could. Ji-woo did not disappoint. After years showcasing his abilities to nobodies at talent shows, he hit the track to stardom. Young Jin-hui, a producer at Mighty One Entertainment, recruited Ji-woo into her training program. He transferred to a dormitory in Seoul, where for 14 hours a day he was crafted into a star, taught how to move and sing, and how to carry himself with the right balance of confidence, modesty. Draining as the process was, it worked. Young Jung was selected Ji-woo to join the band No Spin, bringing a raw energy to their tracks. Fame was almost immediate. Ji-woon lived in a daze of interviews and adoration. Through the frenzies scheduled exhausted his bandmates, he was invigorated. Each day was an affirmation that he was greater than the mediocrity society spewed out. But over time, the champagne grew stale. When he looked at his fans, he saw their enjoyment and envy split 5 ways, then out between each band member. The validation that had surged through him left a desperate yearning for more. Ji-woon kept expressions mimicking a charm long buried under loathing. He recorded the latest No Spin album with his bandmates, never missing a beat. After a lengthy long break, he returned to the studio to discover that fate had granted him a gift. The scent of burning wire was unmistakable. He rushed to the control room, finding the door blocked by fallen speakers. His bandmates pounded on the door, their cries accompanied by the cracking. Jae-won called to them, Well, I should probably use another thing. Okay. On the other side, his bandmates accompanied by the crackling frame. Janeway called to them, dashing to the speakers, grabbing one and stopping. He froze. Each breath was a conscious, deliberate process requiring all his attention. The nearby cries hardly admittable until slowly he backed away, and he heard it. They were screaming his name as they burnt. Screaming for him. Okay, well now it wants to find matches. Cool. The Thompson's house. And thus that was a successful hunt. And I disappear into the night. Nice. Alright. Well, I think that's all I'm gonna do for this stream.